For many years right now, I've shared the idea that the universe we perceive is a human universe based on the entanglement of the conditioned human mind, the conditioned human brain, its sensory apparatus, and its entanglement with human sensations, images, feelings, thoughts, and what appears as the universe with rocks and stars and galaxies and insects and bacteria and animals and so forth. So today I want to share with you an idea that what the real universe is, or the real matrix of the universe is a sensorium, a multimodal qualia sensorium in the play of cosmic consciousness. So let's see if we can pursue this argument a little bit, okay? So first, understand the play of consciousness. And we begin with the idea that consciousness is not confined to the brain or nervous system, but arises from a complex interplay between what we call mind, body, and environment, which ultimately are also appearances in consciousness. However, if we adopt this view, then each biological organism can be seen as a virtual reality headset. A virtual reality headset, each biological organism, this whole organism is a virtual reality headset. If you want to go deeper into this, then go into my series playlist with Don Hoffman on Chopra Well, on the Chopra Well YouTube channel. But in any case, let's go back to the argument I'm proposing today, that each organism, each biological organism is a virtual reality headset that non-local consciousness uses to project a species-specific world, complete with its own unique experiences of self and the other. This idea finds resonance in the spiritual writings of many teachers, including Swami Muktananda, who described the play of consciousness as the myriad experiences and phenomena that arise in the field of awareness. Consciousness, in its unfathomable and inscrutable nature, appears as infinite forms interacting in a vast kaleidoscopic display. At the heart of this process is the sensorium. Once again, the word sensorium, the totality of an organism's sensory apparatus and qualia. Qualia, qualities of experience in the form of sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts. So consciousness, in its, once again, unfathomable and inscrutable nature, appears as infinite forms interacting in a vast kaleidoscopic display. At the heart of this process, once again, is the sensorium, the totality of an organism's sensory apparatus and qualia. I just explained what qualia are. Our senses render the external world in mental images, while our feelings represent the internal state of the body. From this arises the sense of ownership and agency that we call consciousness. But the human sensorium is but one facet in an inconceivably rich ecosystem of consciousness. Each organism, from bacteria to mammals, partakes in the multimodal qualia network according to its own unique sensitivities and what the Germans call Umwelt, the narrow band of perceptual experience that a particular species is confined to, Umwelt. The result is a symphony of consciousness in which each player contributes its own qualia domain and motifs. At this moment, science is only beginning to fathom the depths and dimensions of this consciousness ecosystem. Complexity theory provides a framework for understanding both the brain and consciousness as trophic energy consuming systems. And the work of neuroscientists like Antonio Damasio and others is revealing, and my friend Don Hoffman, is revealing how the body itself, not just the brain, is foundational to the emergence of feeling and consciousness. The body is one projection. So ultimately, the play of consciousness across the sensorium of life is a mystery that we are just beginning to unravel, that defies any single explanation. It is an ongoing dance between form and emptiness, subject and object, the one and the many, the undifferentiated and the differentiated. By expanding our view of consciousness beyond the human mind, we open to a vision of existence which is participatory, self-organizing, and an ongoing adventure in an unbounded field of creativity, endlessly exploring its own nature. Multimodal qualia networks of experience in the matrix of all manifestation. So maybe I can explain this in a slightly simpler term as well. Imagine the entire ecosystem as a giant, intricate tapestry. Each thread in this tapestry represents a different type of sensory experience: sight, sound, smell, touch, taste, and perhaps even senses we humans can't comprehend. These threads weave together, creating patterns and interactions that form the rich, diverse fabric of conscious experience across all living systems. Like Indra's net, in Indra's heaven, there's a set of pearls so contained that every pearl reflects all other pearls and is one with all other pearls. So once again, this network, this matrix of experience, isn't just about human experiences. It encompasses the sensory worlds of all creatures, from the sonar navigation of bats to the electromagnetic sense of sharks, from the ultraviolet vision of bees to the infrared sensing of snakes. And each organism contributes its unique thread of experience to the vast interconnected web of consciousness. So in this view, the universe isn't just a collection of separate entities, but a deeply interconnected matrix, a field of experiences, all part of a greater whole. Okay, so maybe we can go a little bit deeper also in understanding what I'm calling multimodal qualia network. So imagine a vast interconnected symphony orchestra. Each instrument represents a different sensory mode: sight, sound, smell, touch, taste, other sensory experiences, ultraviolet, infrared, sonar, etc. The musicians are the various organisms, each contributing their unique sensory experiences. The music they create together is the rich tapestry of conscious experience. In this analogy, the violins might represent visual experiences, the brass section, auditory experiences, the woodwinds, olfactory experiences, and so on. Each musician plays their part, contributing their specific notes of experience to the overall symphony. The conductor is the overarching consciousness, coordinating and integrating all these diverse and sensory inputs. The complex harmonies and melodies that emerge represent the intricate interactions between different sensory experiences. Just as an orchestra can produce an infinite variety of musical compositions, this network can generate an endless array of conscious experiences. So this analogy perhaps helps you understand how diverse sensory experiences or qualia, qualities of experiences from multiple modes interact and contribute to create the rich, multifaceted experience of consciousness across all living beings. So, uh, here's another way to understand multimodal qualia networks. Visual qualia, the vibrant colors of storefronts, moving vehicles, pedestrians, clothing, create a dynamic visual tapestry. Auditory qualia, a symphony of sounds, car horns, conversations, music from shops, and the hum of traffic forms an intricate auditory landscape. Remember, right now I'm only talking about the human species, although I previously mentioned other species as well. Olfactory qualia, aromas from restaurants, exhaust fumes, and perfumes of passers-by blend into a complex olfactory network. Tactile qualia, the feeling of the sidewalk underfoot, the brush of a stranger's shoulder, or the texture of a shop's door handle contribute to the tactile dimension. Gustatory qualia, the taste of street food or a sip of coffee adds to the sensory tapestry. So a city street becomes a living example of how various sensory modalities combine and interact to create our complex, multifaceted experience of human reality. Now, add to this the tapestry of species-specific qualia, and you have a mind-boggling kaleidoscope of changing experiences all in the one consciousness. So, what is that one consciousness that creates all this? It is the divine mind. It is the divine non-local mind behind which there is nothing. The divine mind, which is without cause, timeless, spaceless, causeless, fundamental, irreducible, infinite, and mind-boggling. If your mind is not reeling with bewilderment by now, then please go back to sleep. Or this could be an awakening moment. As Rumi says, if you're not naked by now, go back to sleep. We are sleepwalking through our existence. Waking up is the incomprehensible, bewildering tapestry of multimodal qualia experiences in the matrix of God's mind, Indra's heaven. Well, share with me your response to this. And also, remember, Digital Dharma will be showing you how to access deeper realms of spiritual intelligence. And you can always text me at digitaldeepak.ai to start a conversation. You can hear my voice, you can ask questions, and we can explore reality together in the direction of awakening. This is just a glimpse of awakening.